creating a good bad guy is so, I mean, there's such a problem. I think it's an epidemic of really bad foreign bad guys in action movies. Like, it's always the guy who has the accent and all this stuff. And then you look at some of the greatest bad guys of all time, and I'll go just at the action genre. Hans from Die Hard, who also was a foreign dude and all that stuff. But it was so wonderfully written, so wonderfully directed and played. And you look at those, like Mr. Joshua from Lethal Weapon, who is so amazing, and of course like Darth Vader and those kind of characters. What some advice do you have for creating a really great antagonist? The Joker, I just came to me, of course, one of the greatest.
With the Joker from The Dark Knight, you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. No, the 1969 Adam West version. No, I'm joking.
You never know, right? So if there is, I wish I could quote it right now, but I actually show the log line of the Joker from The Dark Knight in one of my classes, because his log line is that he's somebody who is trying to bring fun back to the city and stop this horrible masked man from ruining all of that fun. He believes what he is doing is a good thing. If he has to kill people to do it, so be it. So every bad guy has his or her own log line, and my first piece of advice is, what is their logline? What's their movie, right? So as they're looking in on these scenes, how do they feel they're the hero? And I'm certainly not the first person to say that, but it is worth it to actually go in and go, what is your antagonist's logline? They don't think they're evil. They think they're right.
Right, and isn't that this truth for every bad guy in history? Every dictator, every mass murderer, and in one way, shape, or form, they're not there twiddling or twisting their mustache. They truly believe that they're doing something. If not, you couldn't really go to sleep at night. So you truly believe in a psychotic break of some sort, obviously that breaks from societal norms, that you're doing good from your perspective. Because I always tell people, the bad guy is always the hero of his own story. Absolutely. He's not the villain,
Yes. So the writer, it's like, we can say this for days, but if the writer doesn't actually know what that story is, if they just go, I believe you, right, and still write them in this cookie cutter way, they haven't really gone into into the bad guy's psyche. Why are they doing what they do? Now, that does not mean that you stop the script and you go into a flashback of what made the guy evil. That's different. That's their backstory, and we don't need it. We just need to know what is their point of view now, in this moment. Why do they think they're right? And it will humanize them in terms of how they express their lines, some of the choices that they make, things like that.
So two great examples I was just thinking off the top of my head was Thanos, obviously, because it's on mind, is, in his mind, he's just trying to... It's the universe is overpopulated, and there's just too many people, so we're just going to get rid of half of the universe. Yeah. That's his point of view. He's like, I'm just trying to help, and then that's basically Thanos.
I think to the actor's gentle voice that he uses.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't, even though he's huge, he's always kind of explaining this like he's a philosophy professor, right?
Yes, Josh Brolin. Yeah.
Right, and so I think it goes with, again, the point of view is very clear, so the actor is able to now interpret it with more depth than usual.
Yeah, and a lot of the Marvel movies, that's one of the weaknesses of those Marvel movies, is that the antagonist always, a lot of times, wasn't as strong as the protagonist. The protagonist was so well developed, but the antagonists weren't. Thanos is a good one, but the other one in Black Panther was wonderful, because you just felt bad for him. Because he was so. You remember Black Panther? Monger. I forgot his name. Warmonger. But Warmonger, I think his name was. But he's basically he's like a stepbrother or a cousin. He's a cousin to Black Panther, and he never got raised in Wakanda. He was thrown out in the street, and he was rejected.
Right. And we do see a little of his backstory too. That triggers it. Yeah.
Right, and he just wants to come back and take what's his. I mean, because it's obviously wrong what he's doing, but you get it. Like, you're like, if I was put in that position, would I make those choices if I had that situation? You know, and that's what really humanizes that character. Like, even the main character felt bad about, spoiler alert, when he doesn't win at the end. You know, if he feels bad when he has to, you know, finish the job, if you will, because he's like, I feel your pain. I do. And that was what made, I think, that made that movie such a hit, as well as all the other cool stuff that happened in it. But without that great antagonist, I mean, what is Star Wars without Darth Vader? Like,
right. And look at going to Devil Wears Prada, Miranda.
So
right.
wonderful.
So, like, you know, what's fun is how beastly she is through most of it, and then we're starting to see her point of view. And this is a busy working mother. Like, this is like, sorry, you know, sometimes you need to get the stuff done. Plus, she has an expertise in fashion. So when she's cutting your protagonist down to size, she's not just saying you're stupid. She's saying you don't understand the industry you're in, and this is why, you know? And she's right.
Yeah.
So you can't help but go, oh, yeah, I wish you hadn't been so mean to the protagonist, but you were right. I get you. Yeah.